Good, thank you. Beautiful sunny day today in around London. So extremely excited about catching up during such a beautiful day.
It's gorgeous. I've managed to get out with the dog, so no, all good. It's beautiful. It certainly puts a smile on your face when the weather's like that. It makes everybody happy, which is just awesome. We want everyone to be happy, which is great. But I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do this for me. As you know, I'm speaking to various women in finance that I know and just asking them to share their experience with me and the wider audience, whoever chooses to look at it. So I guess the best place to start, the easiest place to start is just if you could give an overview of your career to date and sort of where you are now.
Great, thank you so much. So my name is Gosia Skotnicka. I have of about 15 years of global experience, successfully supporting various decisions across card payments, IT and leisure industries. When I think about myself, I like to think of myself as a very commercially and forward-looking finance professional and people leader with enormous amount of passion for power of collaboration, development of the teams and new technology. I've always been extremely supportive of new technology. So very happy times during COVID when we all had to embrace a little bit of change to our day-to-day things. In terms of myself professionally, very important thing to mention is that I have quite a global footprint. I finished my degree in Poland. I have a master's in banking and finance. Then I moved to Australia, and this is where I qualified as a professional accountant. I'm a member of CPA Australia, and then I had about 10 years of my career working from Sydney, and 7 years ago I moved to London and I'm making a third country home. So a truly around the world trip, if I think of myself. At the moment I work for American Express. During my time with American Express, I had a great opportunity to work across Australia business units and UK, supporting consumer card business, premium benefits, membership rewards, and more recently, global bank partnerships. Extremely amazing career and experience that I've had with American Express, and also a fantastic opportunity to grow with the company, starting in Sydney office and then moving with them to London. Before American Express, I held various roles in IT and leisure industry. During my time in the IT industry, I was I had a great opportunity to work on quite a few short-term projects that took me to India, Malaysia, US and UK. So truly global experience as well. I managed to be exposed to fantastic opportunities and business decisions, and this is where I learned about mergers and acquisitions, strategic planning, contract negotiations, and project finance. So this is in summary quite a short sort of headline about myself.
And like you say, truly commercial and truly global. I mean, there are not many people that can say they've gained experience in all those different countries. And I, for one, whether you're an accountant or not, am very jealous and in awe of you doing that. And obviously, we're talking about women in finance this week. And on the whole, it's been positive. But I mean, did you feel that as a woman, you had to work harder, or was it different being a woman compared to your male colleagues to get where you are today?
So great question, thank you. When I think about it, I immediately think that there has been definitely a change in my career over time when I think about my leaders. So at the beginning, I perhaps had mostly male leaders that I worked for. And then recently, it is a very healthy mix between female and male leaders. And when I think about it now, today, it made me reflect and realize that I gained an extremely broad experience about how do I grow in those different environments. I personally didn't feel that I had to work harder.
Good.
However, at times I had to adjust harder. Yeah. And what I mean by that is I've experienced working in an environment where taking risks and being very confident was just BAU. And then perhaps when I changed leadership, and that relates also to perhaps being exposed to more females as leaders. I've noticed that perhaps there is less risk taking and there is a little bit more thought about feelings, and that made me think. And it didn't make anything harder. It just made me think broadly about what is it that I'm experiencing. And perhaps because I started off with a lot of male bosses, later on when I had the mix, it wasn't really harder, but it was different, and I really enjoyed it. So what I would say to answer is that everyone is different, everyone's journey is different, and perhaps there are some individuals, boys and girls, that struggle when there is not enough diversity. Yes. I personally didn't experience that and was adaptable enough to be able to take all the best things out of it and then apply to my own growth and my own confidence.
And I know that you're really passionate about leadership and leading people. And do you think your experiences have shaped you as a manager?
Absolutely. Oh, definitely. One of the biggest things that I really just super acknowledged tangibly recently is the social and cultural awareness. I knew that I had been exposed to very many different countries and businesses, but perhaps never seen that as a true skill and experience. So now when I'm seeing it, and when I'm working with younger people, with the new generation, I'm applying that logic to my everyday work tasks that I have with the younger generation. And what I see is that we are all different, and we are different everywhere. And what I've noticed is that coming from a different generation also gives us a completely different angle on the way how we think, how we approach certain things, how we maybe absorb certain things as well. So when I work with younger people now, one of the biggest things I say is, because it's my recent acknowledgement, be socially and culturally aware. Make sure that you update yourself on technical skills. Make sure that you are curious, you grow, you know what's happening in the business, but don't forget about how global our businesses are now. And therefore, those skills are extremely important to make sure that you connect with other people on the level that you understand and they understand as well. Another thing I would say, working with younger people, is make sure that when you're curious, you're not afraid of failure. Failure is a fantastic vehicle to make you to learn beyond anybody, because you go through it and you're really learning with yourself. Yes, Warren Buffett once famously said that it's great to learn from your own experience, even better from others. Yet I still would like to challenge famous Warren to say, when you're young, when you have great leaders around you, and when you're learning, making mistakes is fine. It's just making sure that you not make the same mistake twice.
Yes. And you touched on it earlier, technology. I know you have a real passion for that. And I think particularly over the last year, obviously that's played a massive part. And do you think that helps engage with people in your team more effectively, younger people that are entering into the finance world and so forth?
Absolutely. I do believe that we gained far more opportunity to connect with various people from very many different countries, or very many different time zones. Even if we are within the same country, we are able to connect broadly. What I also think technology enabled us is to be available at the times where it suits us. And what it plays on is, in my mind, for many people on this planet, to put passion and work together. And whatever your passion is, it could be some crazy hobbies that you have, or simply applying more time to your family. Technology enables that, and it's brilliant. What I also think is technology recently made us realize that perhaps our lovely colleagues that perhaps have been a little bit quieter around offices, the ones that come across as introverts, they perhaps feel a little bit more comfortable to give their thoughts, because they are in the comfort of their own bedroom or kitchen or living room, and they perhaps feel that their voice can be heard. In case they are not as capable still, we've got this beautiful functionality of a chat rooms that we can, instead of asking people directly, we can say, hey, everybody, can, after receiving a certain presentation or update, we can ask people to give their comments only in a chat room and make sure that everyone is heard. So very many different angles. I see a huge opportunity.
It can take away that anxiety, because not everybody is a good, say, public speaker or wants to speak up in a meeting, but you're completely right, taking away. And I know some people don't even have their camera on, and that's a sign of perhaps feeling uncomfortable or nervous. So to have things like the chat room, I can totally see how that can encourage more interaction with people.
Absolutely.
Of all levels, of all ages, because even most senior people could be shy and not want to put their hand up all the time to speak, or want to have their video on. So regardless of gender, age, skill level, it does open up so many doors. And in terms of back to your career, I mean, is there anybody that you have met or that you know about that has inspired you or made an impact on your career, would you say?
Absolutely. I am very excitable person about human life journeys. I have read many biographies, and even last year during COVID, I've listened to quite a few on audiobook, because it is so available now. Perhaps I've had a little bit of more time. I think I had a number of people who inspire me from history or science, business, music. But what I've noticed is that the people that inspired me the most are the people who I have the opportunity to interact with on a everyday basis. Not to take away any of the accomplishments of the famous people who made themselves famous in the history or music or science, but actually looking around me. And these days, this around, it's much broader, because I touch far more people through the ability to use the technology. I just think, wow, there are so very many amazing people, amazing colleagues, amazing friends who are doing incredible things. And I would like to mention all of those who have been parents schooling from home and doing those incredible things, juggling work, kids, rest, entertainment, everything. At home. A couple of examples I would say is, because we are discussing things in the theme of International Women's Day, and I am extremely inspired by both females and males, but I would like to mention a person that I know personally that super inspired me a couple of years ago. She's a CFO of a company in Sydney, and she actually became a CFO at the time when she was finishing her maternity leave, and she really felt she was ready to be a CFO. But perhaps she also wanted to spend time with her daughter. It was her first child, and she suggested that, yes, she's ready for this role, definitely would like to take the challenge, but in order to be also satisfied parent, she would like to take this role as a 4 days a week, and she will work it through the team to make sure that it works. And many stories that have inspired me, but this one just left this warm feeling in my heart that for anybody, you can be whoever you would like to be. If you can find a way to combine passion with whatever it is that you do outside of work, that really inspires me.
Fantastic. And is there anything that you would say, or what's your proudest moment or wins in your career that you think back on and think, that was really good. I'm so pleased that I did that, or I achieved that?
Great question. Thank you. I'm proud the most when I feel that I had an opportunity to help either a person or organization to reach their potential, to make the right decision, to contribute to somebody's success. And that's somebody's success. Working in a business support roles in finance very often means helping the business to make the right decision, escalating certain things to the senior leadership to make the right decisions, communicating things in a way that is understood by broad teams working on the project. So helping people succeed in their roles, but ultimately also helping the companies, generating growth, progress, vibrant ability to be able to influence things where perhaps not too much can be done sometimes, other than just be vibrant and have a big smile on your face and just see what can be done. Because at times with numbers, it can be very black and white, this or that, but adding that additional factor of a human touch and feeling that
you have so much energy, Gosia. I love it. And I love it when you get really excited about something, and that when you're talking about numbers and driving business and where can you make that better, and or when you're mentoring somebody, that must come through, that energy, that enthusiasm, and people buy into that. That's what makes people want to be part of that energy. They want to be part of your bubble, so to speak, and get on board with it. So I imagine, I mean, your commercial impact must be, that's obviously why you've done so well, because of your personality just gets people moving and it creates momentum, I think.
Thank you. I think it comes from a place where you grow up and you grow. You are perhaps having more opportunity to see what is it that you enjoy doing and what is it that you perhaps enjoy less, and finding that sweet spot. And when you find this sweet spot, I would say almost everybody would be having that excitement. It's just some of us are extroverts, myself, and some of us are not, and we express our happiness in a very different way. So it comes from a place of happiness and understanding what is it that works and what is it that it doesn't work for myself.
Fantastic. And obviously it's been a crazy year for everybody in some way, shape or form, but what opportunities do you see going forwards?
Oh, I think technology just enables, I think I touched base on that earlier. Technology, in my opinion, enabled so much more than I have ever thought that technology would be able to do for us. I see it as a massive positive. As much that we are separated, we're not seeing each other face to face, but it will come. I think we're all eager to go back. We will go back in a different format, and we may not see every single person Monday to Friday. Is going to be a little bit less, but I have a feeling through technology, we all became a little bit more available to ourselves and to our jobs, and accepting of circumstances, time zones, ways of working. And I think this is going to enable us to be more effective, because we're going to enjoy ourselves more. And for people who perhaps prefer to be in the office, even 5 days a week, I'm sure there is going to be a place for those, because there is going to be, on the flip side, number of people who prefer to work from home all the time. And I think it should be absolutely fine.
Yeah.
So I'm extremely excited about technology. One thing I would say is perhaps a little bit more for people who like to keep up to date with the industry and what's happening outside of the day-to-day jobs. I think, especially if you have, constrained with hobbies or small children, ability for you to attend industry events also has been expanded, because you no longer need to in person attend an event. For example, CPA Australia holds really beautiful face-to-face events for us Aussies in London that I didn't always had a chance to join. Now those are a virtual events I can join. Anyone else can join as well. Anyone who wants to.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a really good point, actually, because also training, access to training where you don't have to travel miles to get there, which I was doing before this all happened, before COVID. That I went to a training day, and it was a 2-hour drive from where I am, and you couldn't get there on train, and went for a few sessions, and it's like, actually that's out the window. And that was a recruitment and I think actually that guy, very successful global business, he's closed his offices now in light of this, because I think realizing and adapting that you can do these things online now. You don't necessarily need to there are times and places where I think it's good to have people together, but you don't have to every time. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's taking away the fact that it doesn't have to be that way. People can adjust and people can be flexible, and it creates so much opportunity for the future.
Absolutely. But we also have to be mindful of the fact that not everyone is perhaps enjoying and growing due to the very quick absorption of the technology. But I believe there is a space for those people to be in the office Monday to Friday. It's just for everybody, that there are so very many options that we perhaps never thought about it earlier. And something that I actually had, and I was really inspired by last year, early during COVID, we are all very amazing individuals with very many different things that we bring to the table. Some of us have a bigger space at the table because we have a bigger personality, or we are a little bit more expressive than others. Technology gave us all exactly the same size of the box on the screen. So we can all remember that there is also some equal truth in it, that we all on a screen of other colleagues have exactly the same space and look very, very similar. So we just need to make sure that we get the best out of that opportunity to express ourselves in a way that works for us.
Fantastic. Oh, thank you so much, Gosia. That's been brilliant. Let me stop